back. Regents review, part 6. This is a marathon. I don't know. I'm getting tired. So number 1, right? We're given a rational expression. It's equivalent to, right? One of these answer choices. I see the expression they're giving me. I see my answer choices. I know I have to do polynomial division. Right, so let's see this through, right? I know the x minus 3 is going to be on the outside, and I know inside, right? I'm going to have my 2x to the power 4, right? Right off the bat, right, I see there is no x cubed, so I like to do this because I just think it organizes my work, plus 0x cubed minus 5x squared plus 3x minus 2. I'm only going to do the first 2 steps on this just because it's just too long to show. But right, I'm going to say 2x to the power 4 all over, right, my other leading term, right? I always start with my leading term, so 2x to the power 4 all over x. That leaves me with what? 2x cubed. And now you see why I did this, right? Because now I organize my work. These multiplied 2x cubed times x gives me 2x to the power of 4. Switch the sign. 2x cubed times negative 3 gives me negative 6x cubed. I'm adding, right, because I switched the sign. Cancels out. What am I left with? 6x cubed. And now I rinse and repeat. Minus 5x squared. Come over here, right? I got my 6x cubed divided by my leading term is always the same. X. That leaves me with what? Plus 6x squared. 6x squared plus x leaves me with, right? And this is where I'm going to stop, right? 6x cubed, switch the sign. 6x squared times negative 3 gives me negative 18x squared. Switch the sign to a positive 18. The reason why I'm switching the sign is because I'm always subtracting, right? So since I'm subtracting, right, I'm literally subtracting a negative. It turns into a positive, right? That's why I switch the sign. This leaves me with 13x squared, and then I just bring down my plus 3x. If I see this through, right, you're already going to start to see, right, a couple answer choices that look good, right? This answer choice looks good so far. If I saw it through, this would be my answer choice, right? Because at the end, I'd have 124 as my remainder. And I always do my remainder all over x minus 3. Bonus, right? Is x minus 3 a factor? No, it isn't, because there's a remainder left over. Awesome. Number 2, the equation of the parabola that has its focus at the point negative 3, 2, and directrix at y equals 0 is... This is one topic that I wish I would have maybe shown you guys, right? Because I'm really kind of teaching it to you in these videos. And I feel like there's always at least one of the Regents. Whenever I do this, right, I kind of need 2 things. I want to start by just putting out my equation of a parabola, right? Usually it's going to be like an up-down parabola. So it's always going to be that x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. The h and k come from your vertex. The p comes from the distance between your vertex and your focus, or your vertex and your directrix, and that's what's going to help us here, right? So if I go right and I think about, I'm going to put this down here, right, where we can still see it. I make my coordinate grid. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. My focus is at 1, 2, 3, negative 3, positive 2. My directrix is at this line y equals 0. Basically, focus and directrix are the same distance away from your vertex. So that means, right, if they're 2 away, what's in the middle? What's in the middle? This point's in the middle, right? So my focus is going to be negative 3, positive 1. So that's giving me my first 2 things I need. And since I know, right, my parabola always opens up towards my focus, this is a positive. So what's the distance here? 1. So let me just plug it in, right? So I'm going to say x minus negative 3, which is just saying x plus 3 squared equals what? 4 times 1 all over y, or times y minus 1, because it was a positive 1. So I keep the sign, right? And then, right, let me solve for y, right? So I want to start by dividing by 4 on both sides, right? I don't want to do anything with this just because I see the answer choices here. This leaves me with what? Really 1, right? 1 over 4 times x plus 3 squared equals y minus 1. I can't simplify those out. And then, right, to get y, I want to add by 1 on both sides. What do I get? 1 over 4 x plus 3 to the power of 2 plus 1. Answer choice number 1. All right, looking good. Number 3, ooh, spaghetti. I love spaghetti. The company wishes to determine the cooking time for 1 pound of spaghetti. They repeat the process 35 times, so that means they did a simulation. They got a normal distribution with a mean of 9.82 minutes and a standard deviation of 1.4 minutes. In which interval should the middle 95% of cooking times fall? I mean, right, what are we doing here? 95% is my confidence interval. Confidence interval is just me adding or subtracting 2 standard deviations to my mean, right? So if I want to find my confidence interval, I'm going to say 9.82 minus 2 times 1.4, and also 9.82 plus 2 times 1.4. When I do that, right, let me do it real quick in my calculator. 9.82 minus 2 times 1.4, that leaves me with 7.02. If I do the same thing, except this time I'm adding, I'm left with 12.62. Boom. Honestly, these weren't even close. These other answer choices, right? Answer choice number 2. Looking at number 4, right? Which equation is equivalent to P equals 210 times x to the power of 4 over 3 and y to the power of 7 over 3? I'll look at this, right? I'll look at my answer choices. Like right off the bat, I know number 1 and number 2 don't work because this little 2 to the power 210 isn't being affected by anything, right? And then, right, if I kind of break up each of the x and the y, right, I don't know, like in class I kind of showed you, right, this basically just means x to the power of 3 over 3. If I'm thinking like we're doing almost like an improper number, right? So x to the power of 3 over 3 times x to the power of what? 1 over 3, right? And the same thing for the y, you're saying really kind of like times y to the power of 6 over 3, right? It's going to give you that nice little whole number, times y to the power of 1 over 3. This becomes what? X. This becomes y squared. These are really just saying the cube root of x times the cube root of y. So if I look at my answer choices, answer choice number 3, right, would have the 210 would be there. I'd have my x, I'd have my y squared, and then my x and my y are both 1 left over, right, because they're being taken a cube root. We're in business. Number 5. Number 5 is, I guess it's kind of tricky just because we're looking at this little piece. You're given the 2 functions. What is f of x over g of x for all defined values? Now this one, right, if I try to like, if I put this over, right, I always want to, like, if I'm thinking back to like number 1, I got all these like remainders, so I would do the synthetic division. For number 5, I'm just going to try to factor, right? So if I look and I just put it over this 2x squared plus 7x minus 15. I could do AC method, right? But I want to like just flip this around real quick and say negative 2x plus 3, right? I can do that. And then, right, so I know up here, I know, right, one of my factors has to be negative 2x, whoops, and this has to be negative x. So let's see what works, right? Negative 2x I almost know like I want to make this a 3 just because I know they're trying to get me to like simplify here. So if I bring this negative 2x plus 3 over here, right? So what number, right, times positive 3 is going to give me negative 15, right? There's really only one number, negative 5. If I kind of work this out in my head, negative 2x times negative x gives me 2x squared. Negative 2x times negative 5 gives me a positive 10, and then I'm subtracting negative 3x, that gives me positive 7x, and then my negative 15, which is how I got it. What can get simplified? These two. What's left over? Negative x minus 5. Answer choice number 1. So I played around with it a little bit, and that's what you have to do, right? All right, page 1 done.